You're commuting home with Katz and Cosby. Now, here's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby on 77 WABC.
Joining us now is Richard Staropoli. He's a retired Secret Service agent of 25 years. Richard, first of all, today it came out that the Secret Service basically told local police that they would keep an eye on the Butler PA roof. It's like they still haven't figured it out. And then you got Congress saying Secret Service isn't handing over half the information. Why can't we even get answers on the first one?
Yeah, that's a good question, Rita, right? The Secret Service is absolutely playing games. You've got an agency here that has allowed their own personal political feelings to permeate the agency all the way down to the field. The fact that the Secret Service said to the local police, yeah, we've got it covered, you have to ask yourself, just what the hell does that mean? You've got a building 150 yards away from you with a vantage point that offers direct line of sight. Any Secret Service agent, from the most junior agent to the most senior guy, knows that that building is absolutely in play, and it is so close, you don't rely on local police to man that building, or you're going to call in a giant banner or hang a flag to cut down line of sight. A human, a Secret Service agent, needs to have been posted on the roof of that building. Somewhere along the line, the incompetence due to the hiring practices with a cascading effect over the years led to an incredibly poor decision not to post that roof. I don't have a better answer for you than simply that.
You know,
Richard, Service dropped the ball.
You know what is disgraceful, as you're talking about? I couldn't believe when this week Ron Rowe, who's the new director, who, by the way, couldn't make it today. He was busy, so someone else apparently had to join the hearing. Like, what's more important than a second attempt at assassination on a president? But he came out in this press briefing this week, and I couldn't believe it. In the briefing, he comes out and he said, Biden's done a great job. He's giving us all the support we need. Mayorkas is doing a great job because DHS oversees Secret Service. Are you kidding me, Richard? Are you kidding me?
Well, no, apparently not. And you know what? The guy validated everything I've been saying about him. You know, there's a phrase in New York amongst New York law enforcement called empty suit. And this guy is the protege, the textbook definition of an empty suit. As a matter of fact, you know, everybody blames the former director for everything that's gone on. But we've seen her performance before Congress. The level of incompetence there was ridiculous. The level of arrogance was ridiculous. But you know what? She was only concerned about traveling the world on the taxpayer's dime and pushing her DEI agenda. So what does that mean? It means the guy we're stuck with now, this guy Ron Rowe, was more directly involved and more responsible for the day-to-day operational management of the Secret Service. And it's this guy who was responsible for what happened in Butler and what ultimately happened on that golf course over the weekend. You know, for him to come out and say he thinks Biden and Mayorkas are doing a great job, that says it all. You might as well make him the White House press spokesman. What an empty suit you got there.
Yeah, I agree. Now, what are your questions on the second assassination? We were just talking, there are so many unanswered questions. We know that a number of three-letter agencies got flagged on him. We know that he had like over 100 run-ins just in North Carolina alone, including with a weapon of mass destruction was one of the charges. And he's roaming aimlessly, recruiting Afghan fighters to Ukraine and flying back and forth and with black market weapons. And I mean, it's like, what's going on here?
Don't leave out the Iran contact.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Don't leave out. Rudy brought up the Iran because apparently he was bringing them through Iran and some got stuck in Iran. I mean, what's really happening here, Richard?
Well, look, here's a guy that was too much of a nut job for the Ukrainians. They put him on a plane and told him to get out, right? You've got to wonder what's going on here. Yet apparently he was interviewed by the FBI, and they simply closed the file and put it on a shelf. But what have we come to find out about the FBI over the years, and even more recently about the guy doing the investigation about this guy at the golf course shooting? Another pro-Biden anti-Trumper. So what do you expect from the FBI? Of course they went out and interviewed the guy and then tried to close this thing because it pertained to Trump, and they put it on a shelf. Listen, that golf course should have been handled just like the Bush compound was handled in Waco, Texas, or the Obama residence was handled in Chicago, or the UN was handled in New York. And I was the UN side agent for 5 years. There are different venues over the years that the president goes to that maybe he doesn't go to every day, but he visits with enough regularity that the Secret Service has always assigned a site agent who would handle that site when the visits would occur, and it's that guy or that woman's job to learn everything there is to know about that particular site. Well, what happened to Trump? Where's the site agent that should have been assigned to the golf course in Bedminster, the golf course in Florida? How about Mar-a-Lago? It fell to the wayside because the Secret Service didn't want to afford, and we know this from what Ron Rowe has said, they didn't want to afford President Trump the level of security normally afforded the sitting president of the United States. Once again, an incompetent and a negligent decision. And by the way, let's not forget, it's Ron Rowe and his assistant directors and deputy assistant directors that are not only responsible for President Trump getting shot 2 months ago, but they're also responsible for a guy getting killed in front of his family and 2 other people getting shot as well. And nobody talks about those 3 people anymore.
Yeah, that's right. The firefighter at the Butler, Pennsylvania rally. Absolutely. Let me ask you the $64 million question, former Secret Service agent Richard Staropoli. Do you believe that there were others involved or somehow played a role? The guy happened to know that he shows up at the golf course that day. He's hanging out for 12 hours. Apparently he brought like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Give me a break.
And a bathroom.
And a bathroom, exactly. Don't forget that.
No, absolutely. Listen, until somebody tells me otherwise, I am convinced, and I'm going out on the edge here, and I'm going to investigate this as if somebody put him up to doing this. This guy was too much of a nut to just pull up there, pick that spot to park, and when he hangs out for 12 hours, this guy's got the attention span of a sand flea. Yet for 12 hours, he could sit there and just lie in wait. I am pretty sure somebody put him up to doing this and told him, hey, you sit there as long as you can, and when Trump approaches, take a shot at him, or at the very least, let's see what the Secret Service response is going to be, and if they do spot you, drop your gun, get back in your car, and take off. Because look at what happened when they grabbed him. He simply gets out of the car and surrenders. Why would the guy do that if he was so intent on killing Trump? He shows no remorse for being caught. He doesn't show any sadness in being caught, like he failed in his mission. And what does he do? He quotes Kamala Harris and says, hey, I did this to safeguard democracy. Somebody or some group of people put him up to this as a test of what the Secret Service response was going to be, because at some point, and mark my words, there's going to be another attempt directly on President Trump or on a member of his family in an effort to do something to keep him out of this election. They've tried to take all his money and bankrupt him, couldn't do it. They've tried to send him to jail, couldn't do it. Now they're just outright trying to kill him. It's unbelievable what's going on here, and the Secret Service is party to this.
Yeah, which it breaks my heart. But you're right. It seems like especially the folks at the top, the politics at the top, because we love so many of the agents there. Richard, thank you so much for your honesty and your candor and your service, too. You got to come back on again soon. You're terrific. Thank you.
Look forward to it. Thank you.